Good evening. Today is Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. Trip day for Wednesday the 14th. All right, let's go. No setups tonight. The good news is, as you would expect, with the market in most sectors doing fairly well, my momentum list is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So on a pullback, we should see a plethora of setups. We're very overbought now. I'm going to get to that in just 1 second. So it's a very dangerous environment to buy into. So ideally, I like to see some corrective action, and that'll come with the setups waiting for the pullbacks. Not a great day at TFPM, but it really didn't come unglued. But on any stops, obviously, just in case. Only two in the Landry list. That's okay because the methodology requires a pullback and the market's banging out some marginal new highs. We're not going to see a whole lot of setups just yet. There's possibly some IPOs that are in the process of setting up. And again, there's quite a bit of momentum out there, so we could see something fairly soon. These are the only two that remain in the list for now, but let's just hold off on those and see what else begins to pop up over the coming days. Let's take a look at TFPM. As you can see, selling off a little bit, but off its worst levels. Honor your stops, obviously, just in case. There, I'm okay with sector rotation and getting knocked out as long as new areas and opportunities emerge, and they likely will. S&P 500, super duper overbought, pushing into this overhead supply. You've never seen one day at a time. These V-shaped recoveries, as I preach, are very hard to sustain. If we take a look at the VIX, getting kind of interesting there. The VIX only matters, as I preach, when it matters. And right now, I think is one of those times we're stretched 20-something percent below the moving average. That suggests the reversion to the mean move, VIX higher. And then that would mean that stocks, or the S&P 500 in this case, would come back down. Now, be careful there. I would not position trade off of that. But intraday, if you see some shorting opportunities when that occurs, or buying opportunities for UVXY, it might be worth a shot. Don't bet the farm in any kind of trading like that, though. But anyway, good to know that that just kind of reconfirms, or confirms, I should say, that the market is overbought, obviously, and dangerous to trade. Speaking of overbought, NASDAQ up over 1.5%, pushing into this overhead supply. Let's take a look at the Rusty. Rusty, not very impressive, only up about 30%. Really didn't get past these prior highs. I was kind of hoping that these small caps would lead us out of all of this mess, but so far that hasn't happened. You know how it goes with hope and the market. As we dig through the sectors, a lot of sectors are just going straight up as of late. There's cybersecurity, not too far from all-time highs. Again, the V-shaped recovery could be a problem. Another one of those V-shaped recoveries, the EFA shares right here at all-time highs, so that's certainly a good thing there. Broker-dealer pushing, you guessed it, almost to all-time highs. But again, it's a V-shaped recovery at high levels, and that's very dangerous market to just hop into. Biotechnology turning down, only great in the world, right? You could see beginning to try to sell off out of this recent pullback, or continue to sell off out of the pullback. The transports have been doing really well. I'm sorry, that's defense. Defense has been doing really well as of late. It managed to close at new highs, and this is one of those V-shaped recoveries that has sustained itself. So let's see what happens on a pullback. If it pulls all the way back to where it broke out from, then all bets are off. But if it can stabilize and just kind of maybe wedge lower a little bit, or make a bit of a bull flag, it might be worth a shot. Jets, there's the transport. So far just pulling back, but pretty impressive rally so far nonetheless. Transports overall pushing into this overhead supply, like a lot of these other areas. On the downside, the health service stocks not looking so hot. As you can see, they're coming down here. Looks like they want to challenge their recent lows at the least. Bonds also, speaking of challenging recent lows, down here toward their recent lows. I'd like to see these guys obviously stabilize and begin to rally. Semiconductors, bam, winning. Look at that. Just pushing through this overhead supply like butter, but it still has its work cut out for it. A lot further to go. Also overbought like many other areas. Uranium continues to wake up. We'll have to see what happens there. Here's the uranium ETF, URA, and then URNM. You can see it's been rallying off of lows. Like a lot of these areas that are coming off the lows, lots of overhead supply to deal with. Improving, but I wouldn't rush out and buy those areas just yet. Energy's decent day there. So far, just kind of pulling back from this recent slide, and they're kind of wide and loose and all over the place. So I'm going to avoid that area for now. Getting back to the semis, the good news there is NVIDIA, which is a bit of a bellwether, obviously, had a bang-up day, and it's been doing really well as of late. I wouldn't rush out and buy it again with all this overhead supply and it being overbought. But it is kind of interesting that it's improving, and this is one of those prior leaders, as you know, that is trying to become a new leader again. That usually doesn't happen, but I find that really interesting. Pot stocks continue to kind of bottom out. Overhead supply issue here, but you know the routine. Here it comes again, one day at a time. I think that's it for tonight. If you have any questions, you know the routine. Everybody have a fantastic night. Sit tight for now, but get ready to get ready. We'll talk to you tomorrow, if not sooner. Thank you so much.